Attorney General Tan Sri Tommy Thomas says there are no plans to drop charges against Goldman Sachs as part of a settlement over the 1MDB scandal. Thomas told The Edge that the Nikkei Asian Review article, which carried the headline that said he was open to settling with Goldman in return for dropping the charges, was misleading, as he never said Malaysia was prepared to do so. The report had said that the two sides have been holding settlement talks, but they have not been able to agree on the amount of compensation over 2 rounds of discussions. Separately, 1MDB's ex-CEO Dato' Shahrul Azral Ibrahim Halmi says it was Low-Tech Joe who advised 1MDB's board to transfer the decision-making power from Putrajaya to then Prime Minister Dato' Sri Najib Razak. Shahrul testified today that the amendment of 1MDB's Memorandum and Articles of Association to insert Article 117 was under the instruction of the fugitive businessman at the request of Najib. Article 117 states that 1MDB requires written approval from the PM before it can decide on a wide range of issues. According to Shahrul, Low had said that the change was what Najib wanted in order to make the matter non-ambiguous. Putrajaya launched the National Transport Policy 2019-2030, which pushes for an environmentally sustainable transport sector that will be key in accelerating socio-economic growth. Among its priorities is to encourage the use of public transportation as part of its move towards a greener transport ecosystem. According to the policy, the government aims to integrate town planning and public transport development. It is also looking at imposing requirements for transit-oriented developments in urban areas and around public transportation nodes, while also encouraging self-contained development concepts to minimize travelling needs. Ports and airports will also be subject to the same requirements, effectively transforming them into sub-cities. The policy also outlines the steps to be taken to accelerate the implementation of low-carbon mobility initiatives to cut greenhouse gas emissions from the transport sector and increase the adoption of energy-efficient vehicles. These include the development of sustainable support infrastructure, including charging stations for green vehicles. Perdana Petroleum will definitely return to the black in FY20, since its shareholders have given their nod for the group's proposed rights issue exercise, which forms a part of its debt restructuring plan. Its shareholders voted at an EGM today for the proposed renounceable rights issue of redeemable convertible preference shares of up to 506.01 million ringgit in value, as well as the proposed provision of financial assistance to its major shareholder Dayang Enterprise Holdings. Executive Director Bailey Court sees better times ahead, with the improved utilisation and charter rates seen this year expected to continue into 2020. He adds that vessels are in high demand right now, as there is a shortage of those in Malaysian waters. Meanwhile, offshore activities are also seen picking up, and Perdana Petroleum is banking on more longer-term contracts to be dished out next year. With this, Co says the group could cut its dependency on its major shareholder for charters. Wydad Group wants to buy into a company that owns the concession to develop the facilities and maintain the UiTM campus in Jasin, Malacca. Wydad is the integrated facility management and construction outfit that recently made a bid for Plus Expressways concessionaires for up to 3 billion ringgit. The company has entered into a heads of agreement with Prihatin Ehsan Holdings and Training Camp Abata to buy their 90% stake in Serenda Heights for 95.89 million ringgit. Serenda Heights unit YBK Usasama holds the UiTM concession ending in 2034, totaling 861.6 million ringgit. The proposed acquisition is expected to be completed in the first quarter of 2020. Wydad, which services Istana Negara and JB Central among others, says the move will boost its order book from about 910 million ringgit currently to 1.8 billion ringgit. Setia City Mall, a JV between SP Setia and Landlease, is set to be the largest mall in Shah Alam once the Phase 2 expansion is completed by the second half of next year. Over 500 million ringgit will be invested in the mall's expansion, increasing its size by 62% to 1.2 million square feet. Land Lease Development Malaysia's head of retail, Mitch Wilson, says the mall has achieved 95% tenancy rate so far, while the second phase has already secured 70% tenancy rate. He is expecting the mall's traffic footfall to increase by 30% to 50% following the completion of the expansion. Meanwhile, Datuk Tan Hon Lim, SP Setia's executive VP, believes that the mall is poised for steady growth as more residents move into the group's flagship township, which upon completion will be home to possibly 200,000 people.